What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. Today is 240 day, so we're going to be working on the front end. We're going to tear apart all the front suspension and subframe. Well then, come on, there we go. We're going to be tearing apart the whole front end, whole front suspension, the subframes. Pretty sure these are subframes too, but tear it all apart. We're going to paint what we can, and then we're going to replace the old parts with new stuff because got all new GK Tech stuff for the front end. So we're going to start tearing it down. I had both wheels off and I was just looking at it. So one of the things I think I'm gonna do while I have the front end torn apart, once I tear everything apart, there's stuff I need to paint. So like that part of the subframe and this middle piece of the subframes. And while I'm waiting on those to dry, I'm gonna re-undercoat the front end because certain spots are like peeling and nasty. I don't know if you guys can see that. So I'm gonna clean a lot of this up and then repaint most of it. So I'm gonna start tearing this all apart. So we have the passenger side is torn down as we can for the moment. There's two bolts holding in the subframe, not the subframe, the power steering rack. And I'm not gonna take this out yet. I'm just gonna drop the subframe, pull the power steering pump rack, whatever, with it, and then pull the knuckle off as well. So, because that tie rod is stuck in there. So I'm just gonna take it off all as one unit. So I'm gonna jump to the other side, do the same thing. Take off that front part of the subframe, clean that up, and then we have our old junk parts. So let's get to it. Everything's pulled apart. I've got the 3 pieces to the subframe that I'm gonna keep and repaint and reuse. So I'm gonna clean these off real quick, get all this gunk off. I've already sprayed it with degreaser, so I'll let that sit for a little bit and pressure wash it. See if I can get most of it off, and then we're gonna let it dry once they're clean and paint them. And while that's drying paint wise, we'll undercoat the bottom of these wheel wells. Now that we've had a fun day at Wet n Wild, these should be cleaned up enough. We're gonna let them dry some. I mean, they're not perfect. Sort of like the rears, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just want it to look a little bit better than it does now. So we're gonna let these dry a little bit. Kind of strip off some of these old bolts and whatnot that's on this. And then we're gonna paint these and move on to that side, or to that. sides lined and resprayed so they look way better, no cracks or nothing like that. I went to paint the knuckles like I did on the back. Same thing as those pieces over there. But I thought I had an axle nut this big and I do not. So tomorrow we're gonna run to the store and get an axle nut that big. I also need to go get a hardware kit because some of these bolts that hold the front 2 cross members in are like completely destroyed. Like that. If it'll focus. There you go. Like completely gone. So we're gonna do that too. So in the meantime, I'm gonna clean up and just get everything ready for tomorrow. So first thing in the morning, go to the gym, and then we'll go get the hardware kit, take these 2 axle nuts off, get those painted. And then while we wait on those to paint and dry, we'll go ahead and throw those 3 pieces on the car, and then move as fast as we can necessarily. So these pieces turned out really good. I'm just kind of waiting on that last little bit to dry before I flip them back over and get ready to throw them in the car. But for just a quick little spray paint job, turns out really good. Looks better than it did before. So that's really the whole point behind it. Just not to make it look perfect, but better than it was before. So from like 10 feet, it looks clean. But then like once you get like right up on it, you kind of notice a crappy paint job and crappy prep. So with that being said, I'm gonna clean up and then we'll jump back into this tomorrow. All right, we got our hardware kit. Bolts for the KA that's in there. Socket for that. All right, I'm gonna tear down these 2 knuckles, get them painted, and while we're waiting on those to dry, I'm gonna start throwing together the front end and the front subframes. So this video has taken like 3 days just to do because it's just been a nightmare. Waiting on parts to dry. It's granted I could have painted those the day before or something, but it is what it is. So waiting on parts to dry, and then yesterday I spent all day trying to get these ball joints in these control arms. Went to the store, got a loaner tool, got them in, and then realized I didn't have snap ring pliers to put the C-clips on top of the ball joints. So I had to wait and go this morning to get the snap ring pliers. So the control arms are done. The tension rods are done. So subframes are now in, as you see. And now I've got to reassemble the hubs. Once I reassemble the hubs and the knuckles, then I can throw everything back together. They might get me done. So we're gonna jump on that, and hopefully this does not take 2 more days. passenger side is done. I just need to throw in the steering rack so I can connect that tie rod, and then we're done. So everything's tight. Shaking the whole car. So we're gonna go switch to the other side, driver's side, and then should be done. Both sides are done. Both lower control arms, tension arms, and coilovers. The only thing that's not new, like the rear, is the hubs, because I have to switch to 5-lug still. So for now, that's what we're going with. Both subframes are painted, the main one and then the smaller ones painted and reinstalled. These front two have new hardware on the two front piece and one new bolt on the back, because the old ones are just trash. And if you're wondering why, I'm kind of just full sending and doing a complete rebuild on the whole suspension, front and rear, because all these bushings are shot. Like this ball joint, gone. This bushing, it's not terrible. But over here, these ones are really bad. This one is like shot, like completely toast. And same thing with this ball joint. This one's not as bad, but it's bad. And then obviously the coilovers are complete toast too. So yeah, all the suspension on this car is completely the same, just like that. Come over here to the back, pile of scrap from the back ones. Ball joint. These bushings don't look terrible. I don't know if you even heard me. These bushings don't look terrible, but still replaced them. Same thing with this ball joint. This one's not as bad, but it's still toast. And those are toast. So now all we have to do is wheel hubs all the way around. That'll be next. And then we really just need to do an alignment. And then suspension is done. So the whole car has brand new suspension now. So that is one check off the box. The whole list of things to do on the car. Next will be either fuel system or brakes. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. So we'll do that, and then we need motor and trans and interior and fun stuff. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up, get as much of this crap cleaned up, put away, so continue with the next project, and then I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.